Madame, bonsoir. Messieurs, bonsoir. Merci d'honorer une fois de plus ce rendez-vous de l'information Prime News sur My Media Prime Television. Nous émettons en direct de Douala, Fingoudron-Bangui, la capitale économique. Nous ouvrons ce journal avec ces informations du sud-ouest indiquant que le général Spirito a été neutralisé par les forces armées à Baye-Foué dans le département de Mbongué ainsi que son bras droit et 6 autres combattants. Son cadavre et celui de son second ont été transportés par avion à Kumba cet après-midi par les forces de défense et de sécurité. Ils ont été reçus au 6e secteur du Bir à Mabanda, Kumba, puis présentés à la population de Kumba au carrefour Bissek. Le bilan de cette opération compte également 3 civils blessés qui ont été évacués vers Limbé dans un hélicoptère militaire pour des soins médicaux à cet effet. Le préfet de la Mémé, Ntungdong Chamberlain, s'est adressé à la population dans cet extrait.
First of all, justify that Spirito is no more. He has been neutralized by our defense forces. And we know, all of us know who was General Spirito. A very big criminal operating in Baifue, Boabakubu, Baipanya, all those areas. Even Bole, Capital was the one coordinating those activities there. Many people have been killed by this criminal and this boy. He went to Konochichi site where he has planned many attacks in Bobongo, Lekora, and some other places. And there, you know it very well. We lost some of our people. But today,
Élection législative 2021, Kavaye Djibril, réélu à la présidence de l'Assemblée nationale ce jeudi 18 mars 2021 avec 147 voix en sa faveur et 15 bulletins nuls sur les 162 députés ayant pris part au vote. L'annonce a été faite par le secrétaire général du comité central du RDPC. Le député de 81 ans a exprimé de vive voix sa gratitude au chef de l'État, son Excellence Paul Biya, et Marcel Niat Njifendi, à nouveau porté à la tête haute de la Chambre haute du Parlement ce jour. Covid-19, un an déjà que le gouvernement camerounais a adopté une stratégie de riposte contre la pandémie du coronavirus au pays. Malgré les mesures rigoureuses qui ont été adoptées, les cas positifs du Covid-19 ne cessent de grimper. 40 000 cas déjà. Dans ce reportage qui suit, Guinda Perdune Blanche revient sur l'efficacité de la mise en œuvre de ces mesures.
Today marks exactly 1 year since the government adopted response strategy to fight against COVID-19 in the country. Amongst other measures, the government announced that drivers of buses, taxis and motorbikes should avoid overloading. Wearing of nose masks mandatory for all. A system of regulating consumer flows will be set up in markets and shopping centers to avoid overcrowding, discouraging social gathering of over 50 persons at a time. These measures were adopted when the first 10 cases of the virus was diagnosed in the country, with no local outbreaks. The 10 identified cases were from persons out of the country and those who were in contact with them. Despite the stringent measures adopted and implemented on March 18, 2020, Cameroon has recorded over 40,000 positive cases of the coronavirus over time, with over 30,000 deaths, and is currently battling with the second phase of the virus. The question many are asking is, how effective are these measures? The idea of nose masks has been highly neglected by most Cameroonians. A quick look around the streets presents Cameroonians crowded without nose masks, parks still crowded, overloading still very present. The government has on several occasions emphasized on strict respect of all COVID-19 measures, promising sanctions to persons found not respecting these measures, though many pay deaf ears to these warnings. During the just ended interministerial meeting to evaluate the epidemiological state of the virus, the government reiterated on the mandatory use of nose masks and sanitary measures. State and private officials also have as task to ensure the effective implementation of these measures to minimize the spread of the virus in the country.
Dans l'optique de lutter contre les maladies respiratoires, notamment la Covid-19, les populations de Buea ont obtenu de la part du maire David Mafani la promesse d'un approvisionnement quantitatif en eau pour assurer le lavage des mains des populations. Le maire a également profité de cette occasion pour rappeler à la population l'importance du respect strict des mesures barrières. C'est un reportage que nous propose Clarisse Ekowe.
Constant hand washing is one of the measures recommended by the WHO and the Cameroon government as the fight against the respiratory disease takes another gear following the outbreak of the second phase of the pandemic. However, water supply is a major challenge for Buea denizens as potable water has become scarce in most neighborhoods. This is the case with neighborhoods like Bonduma, Bokwango, Street 7 to cite but these few, as many have gone for days without water supply.
We have been without water. Here in Vesopol, go right down in Menja. The place is very far.
The water crisis in Vesopol. We are really suffering. We have carried water in Jasasa. Very far, very, very far.
With the second phase of the respiratory disease resurfacing at the peak of this water crisis in Buea, there is a rising concern by locals who are expected to frequently wash their hands.
This is a problem. Because if there is no water, I cannot wash my hands. The mayor should give us water. Because we are really suffering.
Yes, I'm aware that there is no water. We need water.
Well aware of this preoccupation within his municipality, Barrister David Mafani, mayor of the Buea municipality, has reassured the population of constant water supply at every washing hand point within the municipality.
We are equally going to intensify the supply of water as a council because water is a problem. So the council has made provisions for wash hand points in public areas. They were equally going to supply water to those who have created private wash hand points in the streets.
Meanwhile, local authorities have encouraged denizens to go for the free COVID-19 test to know their status, while strictly respecting other COVID-19 barrier measures such as avoiding a crowd of more than 50 persons at a time, properly wearing their nose masks, covering their chinks and nostrils, and the regular use of alcohol hand-based sanitizers.
Exposing yourself as a vector of disease is by itself a criminal act. Even those in bars, we are going to sanction if need be, because we have an obligation to protect even those people who don't want to obey.
While measures are being put in place by local authorities to ensure that the fight against the respiratory disease is collective, doubting Thomases have been warned against defaulting barrier measures put in place by the government.
Et toujours en parlant de Covid-19, l'ancien député camerounais Joseph Wirba a fait appel à tout Camerounais de se faire vacciner contre le Covid. Cet appel a été fait le mercredi 18 mars sur son compte Facebook, accompagné d'une photo de lui en train de se faire vacciner. Depuis l'annonce du vaccin AstraZeneca, de nombreux Camerounais se sont tournés vers les réseaux sociaux pour se renseigner sur la fiabilité de ce vaccin. Et en Tanzanie, les drapeaux de la Tanzanie ne cessent de flotter après l'annonce du décès du président tanzanien John Magufuli hier mercredi 17 mars. D'après la vice-présidente Samia Suluhu, il serait décédé des suites de complications cardiaques. C'est un reportage de Fon Quinta.
Tanzanians are currently observing 14 days of mourning after the death of President John Pombe Magufuli, one of Africa's most prominent coronavirus skeptics, was announced Wednesday, March 17, 2021 by Vice President Samia Suluhu Hassan. Described as a patriot who loved his country, John Pombe Magufuli, elected president for the first time in 2015 and 2020 for the second term as president, died at 61 from a heart condition after a more than 2-week absence from public that led to widespread speculation about his health. Announcing the death of President John Magufuli, born in 1959 in Chato, northwestern Tanzania, Vice President Hassan equally announced 14 days of mourning with flags to be flown at half-mast. Nicknamed the bulldozer because of his reputation for pushing through policies despite opposition, Mr. Magufuli frustrated the World Health Organization during the pandemic playing down the threat from COVID-19, saying guard and remedies such as steam inhalation would protect Tanzanians. The former chemistry teacher had mocked coronavirus tests, denounced vaccines as part of a Western conspiracy to take Africa's wealth and opposed all barrier measures. His death has seen eulogies and condolences messages from counterparts in and out of the African continent, with African counterparts describing him a bright star plucked from the African continent. Mr. Magufuli, married and father of 5, was not just a president, but a man of the people, as he lived communing with Tanzanians of every sphere of life.
Ouvrons à présent notre page santé où on parle d'avortement. 3 avortements sur 4 pratiqués en Afrique et en Amérique latine ne sont pas sécurisés. Les risques de décéder suite à un avortement est énorme, surtout dans les pays en voie de développement. Je vous propose donc de suivre Bokengo Worthy dans ce reportage.
Killing about 70,000 females yearly from the annual 70 million admitted in the hospital. Unsafe abortion is the termination of a pregnancy by a person lacking necessary skills and in environments lacking minimal medical standard, as well as under unhygienic conditions. Globally, an average 73.3 million safe and unsafe abortions occur yearly, according to data from the World Health Organization. Born by crude methods such as drinking toxic fluids, drug dosage overdose, and many more, unsafe abortion is the leading cause of maternal death worldwide, most especially in Africa, where 4 of every 5 abortions is unsafe. Cameroon has a 25% of unsafe abortion, with a mortality as high as 1 to 66 on 100,000 in the far north region of the country. According to the International Planned Parenthood Federation, the medium to long-term repercussions of unsafe abortion include reproductive tract infections by 30%, pelvic inflammatory disease by 50%, chronic pain and infertility by 40%, not void of constant miscarriages, premature delivery, ectopic pregnancy, amongst others.
Voilà, et en ce qui fait la une de l'actualité africaine, Aileen Sama fait le point.
Prominent human rights activist Sanaa Seif has been sentenced to 18 months in jail by a court in Egypt after finding her guilty of spreading false news. The 27-year-old Seif was detained in June. It is worth mentioning as she tried to file a complaint about an assault that she had allegedly suffered. Later, prosecutors accused her of making unfounded claims about the handling of COVID-19 outbreaks in Egyptian prisons. Amnesty International said she had been convicted on bogus charges stemming purely from her peaceful criticism. Sanaa Seif has now been sentenced to prison 3 times since 2014. Samia Suluhu Hassan, Tanzania's vice president, is ready to be sworn in as the new president and will serve the rest of President John Magufuli's second 5-year term, which he began last year. This will make her the first female president of the country and the second president coming from the country's semi-autonomous island of Zanzibar. Ms. Hassan reportedly rose to prominence in 2014 as a deputy chairperson of a constituency assembly mandated to lead the drafting of a new constitution. A year later, became running mate of the ruling CCM party presidential candidate John Magufuli. Politicians who have worked with her speak of her leadership potential that Tanzanians have not yet experienced, while others have described her as a brave and unwavering politician. Kenya's Football Federation has called off a friendly encounter against Tanzania that was slated to be played today in the capital, Nairobi. In the morning radio show, the team's coach, Jacob Muli,
said the match was called off following the death of Tanzania's President John Magufuli. However, Coach Mule did not indicate if the game had been rescheduled for a later day. The friendly match was part of Kenya's preparation for Africa Cup of Nations qualification matches against Egypt and Togo scheduled for later this month.
En sport, Coupe de la Confédération africaine de football, Quentin Etapé nous livre les résultats des différentes affrontations dans ce reportage.
Coupe de la Confédération africaine, deuxième journée de la phase des groupes. Coton Sport 2, RSB Berkane 0, Namungo 0, Pyramide 2, Nkana FC 0, Rajas Casablanca 2, Orlan Pirate 2, Ehimba 11, Salitas 1, Étoile du Sahel 0, Jaraf 1, CS Fashion 1 et Alim Benghazi 1, ES Sétif 0. Ce sont les scores des matchs joués hier, mercredi 17 mars 2021, dans plusieurs stades africains. Par exemple, dans celui du Cameroun, Rumde Adia de Garoua, Coton Sport a chicoté RSB Berkane 2 buts à 0. Le premier est introduit à la 54e minute du jeu par l'attaquant Marou suite à une belle combinaison produite par ses coéquipiers dans la surface de réparation Berkane. Le second but intervient à la 72e minute quand les cotonculteurs doublent la mise par les Solange joueurs Arnaud après une récupération dans leur camp. Ce dernier conserve le ballon jusqu'à quelques mètres de la surface de réparation berkanienne, applique la boule à ras de terre avant de faire bouger les fonds de filet marocains. Malgré une remontada rêvée par l'adversaire, le match déboucha ainsi sur un score de 2 buts à 0 en faveur du Coton Sport de Garoua. Dans le classement du groupe B, JS Kabylie occupe la première place avec 4 points. Il a fait un match nul hier avec Nabza FC au National Hero Stadium à Lusaka en Zambie. Côté Nabza, qui est dernier du pool au cours du match, marque son premier but à la 12e minute par Mukuya, le deuxième à la 63e par Koko. Côté JS Kabylie, Ziwanza et Nezla ramènent le score en équilibre dans les 82 et 90e minutes du jeu. Toujours dans le classement, Coton Sport et RSB Berkane occupent la deuxième position avec 3 points chacun. C'est un espoir pour les Camerounais. Bonne continuation en tout cas pour la 3e journée.
And again, on to this information worthy of note, the Cameroonian University of Information and Communication Technologies reminds the public that registration into the institution will soon close. For more information, visit their website www.ictuniversity.edu.cm. Voilà, mesdames, messieurs, pour l'édition de ce jour qui a été coordonnée par Fetata à la production Ewane Elai Nolinga. Merci d'avoir été des nôtres. Restez scotchés pour plus sur My Media Prime Television. Bonsoir.